Hey, what's going on, man? It is your girl, TampaMystic, and we are checking in live from.
Industries most
You see it
wanted.
being industry's most wanted, not the little one, man. Listen, I heard we got Indianapolis checking in. Upone Drekko, what's going on with your family? How you doing today?
Good. I'm doing great today. It's a pleasure to be here.
Man, thank you so much for being here. We on the early show today, and he's up and at it, getting to it on his grind. But go ahead and introduce
Yes.
yourself.
Upone Drekko. I'm from Michigan City, Indiana. A small little city, but we get it done. We get busy. We get some money. You know how we coming. That's all I gotta say.
I know that's right. Well, definitely. Let's dive right onto it and let people get to understand your journey of how you got to where you're at right now. I know you've been professionally doing music for the last couple years. Prior to that, were you creating music but just hadn't really taken it seriously yet?
Yeah, like I've been making music basically my whole life. I got a lot of crazy singers in my family on my dad's side and my mom's
Okay.
side. My dad, he actually did R&B, strictly R&B. Opened up for like artists such as like Genuine and different
Wow.
R&B artists. So he was doing music as well. So I was exposed to the music industry very young, and I would always just like write music or listen to battle raps and try to practice their delivery. I just never like was like, okay, this is what I want to do with my life.
Understood. Absolutely. That I think that oftentimes, we have those influences kind of instilled in us at a young age, and we're not
Right,
even aware that that's going to become your passion as you
right.
become into adulthood. So definitely. And shout out to your family who was heavily involved with music. Are they still involved in music at all?
Yeah, so my auntie is actually a first lady at a church, so she's
Hmm.
gonna forever like love to sing. Which and of course her kids are very involved into making music. They're either playing the piano or the drums. So like music, period, no matter if it's instrumental or just the sound of it is just something that will always be around.
Definitely. Absolutely. Let's talk about the area that you came up in. Are there any musical influences outside of your immediate family from your area?
Yeah, so like I said, I'm from Michigan City, Indiana. It's a small city. It's actually close to Gary, where Michael Jackson is from.
Yeah.
So, we all understand that, and it's just something that like isn't always is in the back of everybody's head. Like if he can do it, we can do it. So there was like a small studio that was opened up out there, and then that went from a basement studio to an actual storefront. So everybody in Michigan City and some people from Gary and different areas around, that area that didn't have that, they would come there, and that basically was like the basis of what started me to really love music even more, just because I was accessible to a studio.
Absolutely. And MJ obviously is like one of the greatest ever in music
Right.
history to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like he's and so being from an area that's very close to him, that's got to be inspirational because it allows you to know, hey, if he can do it from this area, we can do it as well.
Exactly.
That is dope. So, what type of music are you putting out there? Are you more on the hip hop scene? And are you at all interested in tapping into other music genres?
So I'm versatile. So like I said, I have a lot of people in my family who can sing on both sides. So I was just blessed with the ability to be able to sing and use my voice in different ways. And I taught myself how to like rap. So I really make everything. Like I make hip hop, I make R&B. I done made pop songs before. I just try to make whatever I'm really in the mood for at the time. I don't try to box myself in because I might make something that takes off and I didn't even plan on making it. I try to make everything.
Absolutely. Being versatile opens you up to a broader audience as well, too. And that's the goal, right?
Yes,
Is not to just be local like a MJ, you know what I'm saying? Even though he was kind of like in the pop realm, he could sing as well and, kind of,
right.
ventured out. I heard you said that your auntie is a first lady. Do you at all dive into gospel music? Is that an interest for you?
Yes, like I listen to gospel. I listen to like basically all types of music for the most part. But I definitely listen to gospel music. I just never tried to like make gospel music. My auntie, one of my other aunties on my dad's side. Me and her like have created like a little gospel song, just something that she wanted to do. So I was like, okay, I'll do it with you. Just a way to connect with her. And we even did it, but we never like went to the studio and recorded or anything like that.
Definitely. You got people tuning in. I think it's your management team.
Yes, sir.
Salute, salute, shout out. You know what I'm saying? Most definitely. Yeah, we got people diving in right now from multiple platforms. We're on YouTube. We're on 2 Facebook pages. We're on, I always going to call it Twitter, but it's X now, and Twitch. So, if you, whatever platform you guys are tapping in from, go ahead and drop a comment. Let them know that you're here. While
Appreciate
we're
y'all.
on the subject of, we said it early on, let's dive back into it. Your name. Where did the name come from? Upone Drekko.
Really, it's crazy because a lot of people really don't know where it came from. It was really just something like at first I was making music and I didn't have a rap name. I just had posted like a little video on Facebook of me rapping. So my I was in Spanish at the time in school and they gave me like a name like Rico or something like that. And then I was using that and then I was talking to my homie one time and he was like, "Bro, you always up one in every situation. Like you always know how to either be ahead or figure something out." So I'm like, hmm. And then I end up using that as the first part of my artist name. And then, like I said, in my city, I use, you know, I'm versatile, so I make all different types of music. And they was calling me like Drake or whatever, so it just turned into Draco. So it just became Up One Draco. So that's really how the name came about. It really wasn't like nothing crazy, but it's just funny how it all pieced together.
Absolutely. And it still represents who you are because it kind of, like you said, you up one for real. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
that's the goal is to always be up one. You know what I'm saying? We ain't
Exactly.
trying to be back there. We trying to be up here.
For sure.
Is there a decent music scene in your area for independent artists like yourself?
um, it is like there's a lot of great artists, but I think the main issue is in the area is just it needs to be more people who need to understand that we are in a smaller area. So the best thing for you to do to really get yourself out there is to move around, is to try to meet new people, is to network, go to different cities, work with different producers, work with different artists, work with different podcasts and interview stations in different areas because a lot of people think that just going to the studio, recording a song, and then posting it on the internet is just all it takes. But because they hear about certain people with overnight success, but that's rare. It doesn't. A lot of them have been grinding for years. You just didn't know about them or hear about them. So
Right. That's
yeah,
facts.
it's more than just going to a studio and just recording a song and then putting it out. And, oh, this gonna hit a million views. Like it's so much more than that. It takes marketing and all type of other things that cost money. It's just a lot that goes into it, and the people that really aren't tapped into that, they're not really tapped into being an actual artist. They wouldn't really understand. So I think that's the main thing. But there are definitely a lot of dope rappers in Indiana. Period.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see that we're starting to get more of like the light shined on us now. I just seen it's a couple Gary artists that just started getting bigger and bigger. I've been seeing, so I'm seeing that they're starting to see Indiana can keep up too. It's just we just need more people to. We need that one person to come along and do something big, and then push the other artists around the area and give them some light. So that's what I'm trying
Absolutely.
to do.
Listen, you here to change the narrative. You putting on for your
Yeah,
city,
basically.
opening the doors for other artists. Do you feel like within your city musically on the independent scene there is a lot of unity, or is that something that you feel like people could work on?
That could be worked on too, because in every city and every part of the world, every state, there's stuff that happens all the time, like in the streets or just in general. So it's kind of hard to get everybody on the same page, and some people it's not worth getting them on the same page because you hear their music or you just don't feel like it's worth even putting the effort into. But there's some that's like you got the potential to do it if you really want to. So basically, um, it's just really a up in the air type of thing, really.
Absolutely. No, you are absolutely right. I think it's just people have to come together and be on board with it, like everything that you're talking about. And it can definitely happen. It's just what a lot of cities will have that mentality of everybody wants to be the first one. And it's like there can
Exactly.
only be one first one. And then they paved the way and opened the doors for the other people. And everybody's got to be okay with that, you know? And sounds like you're here to change the narrative on that. I'm loving it.
Yeah, for sure. That's all I want to do.
Definitely. I know you have a recent project out. It's called GOAT. Talk to us about it.
So basically, um Goat was just a project to where I was in the studio. I had started working with a engineer slash producer. His name is XODB. His name is known in the industry. He's worked with artists such as 21 Savage, O3 Greedo, your Polo G's, your Von Off 1700 artists from Chicago that's blowing up right now. Um, just a lot of different known artists, Anne Marie, like just a lot of known artists. And I ended up tapping in with him through one of my friends who's actually his first cousin, and he's a producer as well. So I was working with them, and I'm like, man, I need to put out a body of music because this is like, I feel like my really first professional body of music to where the mix and the mastering is good, and everything sounds to the level of what I'm liking.
Yeah.
So I ended up talking to my management team, and we decided to put it out. And I actually ended up getting a feature on there from SG Batman from Chicago. He's a real known artist. He's starting to get more exposure. He just dropped a song with Peasy from Detroit, another big artist. So it was just a great project.
Definitely. What type of, feedback have you been getting from the people, whether it's people you knew or don't know?
They were just surprised because I really, I'm really they know one thing about me, anything that I put my mind to, I try to like do the best that I can with it. And they know that I'm usually the one, in that area who sets the standard. Like I do a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't get the opportunity to do, like different features or being around different known artists or because I just take what I do seriously. If I'm gonna do it, it's like I'm not gonna play with it. So I just been getting a lot of like, dang, I can't believe you did a song with him, or dang, what you gonna do next, or you know, uh, what you thinking about doing next, or when the next project, or when the next song coming, or they just so now when I've been learning that with the industry, it's like when people see you doing stuff with people that they listen to every day, or that they see on the TV, or see their songs going up on YouTube, then they see you do something with them. Now everybody's like what's next or what's going on now everybody's paying more attention to you, so it's really been just a lot of that.
Absolutely. It is beneficial to, like you said, to work with other artists, especially ones that are really moving and shaking because it exposes
Right.
you to their audience and then vice versa. With the
Exactly.
particular feature that you did with SG Batman, what was it about him? I know he, like you said, he's moving and shaking and he's got a buzz, but what was it about him in particular? Was it his sound, his style that really made you say, this is who I want on my record?
It really actually wasn't even like a so I had actually DM'd him like a couple weeks before then and asked him like what was his feature price, and he told me, and I was like, okay, bet I'll be with you real shortly. Like I know exactly I'm gonna do something, but I need to figure out what song.
Yeah.
And my friend, who's he actually a producer too, his blood brother is Batman's best friend.
Mm,
So it was just like it was perfect timing.
yeah.
We ended up just putting it together. We all got on a video call with each other. We talked for like 10, 15 minutes. He like, yeah, I like your music, you know what I'm saying? We could definitely do something. And then he was like, just come out here tonight and come to the studio. So I went to Chicago and we just made it happen that same night.
Man, shout out to him. That's how business is supposed to
Yeah,
happen right there. You guys got on
definitely.
the video call. He said, man, come pull up to the studio because you and I both know some of these artists out there, they get a little Hollywood and you will never even have a conversation with them. They'll just record their
Exactly.
feature, send it over, and there's
Yeah.
never any type of nothing involved. So definitely that speaks a lot about him as an artist, that he's still humble, but he's out here getting to it. So that's really
Yeah,
dope, man.
he a real one for sure. Cause he don't even usually have people pull up. But like I said, that was his. his, you know what I'm saying, his best friend, blood brother. So he like, well, I already know you can come. Then he like, well, if you mess with bro, you definitely can come. And he cool, and I like his music, so come on, let's just do it. And that's just how it went.
Man, that's dope. So maybe another feature sometime in the future between you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
You might end up being featured on one of his records. You know, you never know.
Who knows?
Tell us about working with the producer Quad Woofer.
So about this was like 2020, I think 2020 or 2021. I think this was right before COVID got bad, like right when they started shutting stuff down in Cali. I went to California. I really didn't even actually go out there for music. I was out there on a business trip. So I went out there, and like I said, it was shut down, so it really wasn't too much to do. We just got food and stuff, but I make music, so I'm around other artists. I actually one of my family members, he's actually an artist too, and he got songs with like Babyface Ray and like different known artists already. So we was at his house and his music group's house, and he had the like studio set up, and he was like, "Do you want to go to the stew?" I was like, "Yeah." The stew actually ended up being closed. So Quadwoofer, the producer Quadwoofer, is actually his one of his main producers who comes to his house and just makes beats.
Mm.
And he just came over there, and I ended up buying the beat pack from him, and he got a beat pack, and then one other artist got a beat pack, so he made a lot of money that day. But
That was a good
I
night
got
for
to
him.
work with him. Yeah, I got to work with him close hand, and it's cool because he's like really tapped into the industry. Like he's made songs and beats for like Lil Uzi. Wiz Khalifa is one of his main artists that he works with like very very closely. He's actually produced the like last two projects I think of of his work. So like he's really tapped in. So it was a real cool experience to actually work with him, and just see how Cali works and how their producers work.
Absolutely. Something you said early on in the conversation, I want to kind of circle back to was going to tie into what you were just talking about. You were saying that it's important to get out, move around. And I couldn't agree more because oftentimes your city's kind of like later down the road to get behind you. They want to see you
Right.
out moving around. How important is that for you? Because it sounds like you've made some great connections by being able to get out and move around.
It's very important because, like I said, from when I was saying about just doing songs with people or just them seeing you work with different people, or they see you work with a producer that's working with this person, and now everybody's looking at you now. It's just more of a like you usually never get your full city support until they see you doing those type of things. Now everybody's behind you because they're like, oh, dang, like he really moving and shaking. He really got some motion going on with what he's doing. So maybe we should support it, or they might not listen to your music, but then they see somebody that they really love and that's on one of their top artists on their playlist share your song on their story. Now it's like now everybody wants to listen, and now everybody wants to be around you, or you know how it goes a lot of the time. So it's really more important to me to move around and catch other cities and catch other states and try to get them behind me because I know my city or my state gonna come behind me anyways because I'm
Yeah.
from there. So even if they don't know me or if they do know me, eventually they're gonna catch on to the wave anyways because they're gonna be hearing my name all the time.
Facts, facts. And the people who don't pay attention early on, trust and believe they're going to spin the block at some point in time. Like you said, when they start seeing you out there
Definitely.
moving and shaking, instead of you having to go to them, they're going to be coming to you, wanting to work with you. And that's the goal right there. Do you see yourself at any time in your future ever relocating to another area?
Yeah, it's just more of a I got kids, I got two daughters, so I just want to be around them as much as I can while they're young. Now, if I get an opportunity to where it's like a label or something like that that's paying me a lot of money to come live in another area, or I get some type of distribution deal, or just something like that to where they need me to relocate to reach bigger markets and be outside doing different events, then I could see that. But as of right now, while I'm doing everything more independently, and I just want to be more closer to my daughters, I'm really family oriented, so I'm just trying to be around them as much as I can while they're young.
I respect it 100%. I was a single mom. I had my son when I was a teenager still, and same thing. Like I waited until my son became an adult, like at 18, graduated before I decided to up and move because I didn't want
Right.
to be bouncing him around. But like you said, if that great opportunity comes and the money's going to be pouring in, then you'll have that money to be able to move around and travel a whole lot more to be able to see your baby girls.
Right.
Let's talk about that for just a minute. You have two daughters. How old are they?
Yeah. 5 and 1.
5 and 1. Okay. How did it change your life becoming a father? Fatherhood.
It changed me because, you know, like the normal stigma of men, you meet women, you get around them, you know how it goes. A lot of times you don't really take them seriously, or you run into good ones and you don't really cherish them. But it's like now, we're having daughters and just understanding how they think or how they operate or what they want from you. Like my daughters are really clingy. They come hug me like every 5 minutes, or they all my oldest daughter, she always wants to lay with me. So it's just like learning. I'm learning from them, even though they're learning from me, but I'm learning from them how to
Yes.
appreciate women more and just appreciate life more. Just understand that my main goal is just to make sure that they have the best life. So it changed me a lot. I was a totally different person before I met them. It's just, yeah, it's a great experience.
You're a girl dad now, and
Yeah,
like you said, I think, one of the main things that young men can learn from that, and it's like no shade to young men because when you're young, you are supposed to be out here moving around and dating different women and things like that. But when
right,
you get daughters in your life, because truly a little girl's first love is always her father. Always her
exactly.
father. And that type of feeling, like you said, she wants to lay with you and, they're clingy and stuff. It can absolutely change your whole perspective because you want to treat them and show them how a young lady is supposed to be treated. It starts
Exactly.
with you. That's
Yeah, it
beautiful.
started with me and just trying to teach them, you know, how to be loved correctly as well, because I feel like a lot of times in this generation, especially with a lot of young women growing up without their fathers or etc., they don't get to see, where we're always told as men, oh, this is how you're supposed to treat a woman, this is how you're supposed to treat her. But I want them to see, and I want to talk to them as they get older on, if you get a good man, this is what you should be doing. Instead of it just always being the narrative of, oh well, as a man, you're supposed to do this and do that. It's just I just want them to understand. So that way they're not just somebody's baby mom, or just you're actually a wife and you're a wife material. You know how to communicate, you know how to understand, you know how to listen, you know how to be there, and you're not just out here doing whatever with whoever, or you're not taking advantage of when you actually do get a good person. So I'm just trying to be both, like understanding on my end and learn from them and then teach them as well.
Absolutely, because as parents, we always want our kids to do better than us.
Yeah, definitely.
Period. And me being a single mom at such a young age, I instilled that into my son. I said, when you become an adult, if you are with a woman, like stay with her. If you guys have kids together, try to stay with her. Don't be one of the men like his dad was and dip out of the picture because it's difficult. And
Right.
not all men are like that, obviously, because there's deadbeat moms as well that aren't in the picture. You know what I'm saying? So it kind
Exactly.
of goes both ways. So that's beautiful, man. I love the fact that you're such a heavy influence in your baby girl's life. The 5-year-old, is she a fan of your music?
Yeah, I don't really let her listen to my music like that. I try not to play it that much when I'm in the car. I used to play it around her when she was younger a lot, but now I'm starting to try to dip into, like, when they're in the car, I just play some R&B music or something.
Yeah.
But she likes a couple of my songs that don't have profanity in them. Like I have a song called "Company." It's more like a smoother song. Doesn't really have any profanity. She loves that song. I let her listen to that, but I don't really try to let her listen to rap like that. But she definitely knows that I make music. She loves seeing me on like videos when I do a music video or something.
Maybe you could let her create a little song with you, That would be
Yeah,
fun. And that's
yeah, that
something
was.
she will remember forever. That
Right,
would be dope. Even if you just, record her voice and put it on there, like that would be something you guys could listen to together. It's that father-daughter bonding time.
right, yeah.
That'd be dope. Do you have a setup at your house where you record or do you go to a studio all the time?
No, I actually am in the midst of right now getting my own. equipment just because like I'm already tapped into different engineers. What like I said, the XODB, he can engineer basically anything I need him to. So it's like I could really just record my own song and send it to him, or
Yes.
even just there. A lot of studios you can just send them and they can just mix and master it for you. So it's like I would come out way less money doing it like that. But a lot of the times I either just go to his setup or we just go to a studio in different areas, Chicago or another state, or we just do different things, or I would just record on his mobile setup. It doesn't really matter.
Absolutely. I think a lot of artists are, because I sit down and talk to a lot of artists, throughout the month doing the interviews and stuff. And more of them are doing, like you said, they're maybe recording themselves, but they're sending it out to get the mix and master on it because, that studio time can get a little expensive if you're a type of artist that likes to record a lot.
Yeah, and then I like to record, and then I'm like I said, I'm more of like an on the fly type artist. So
Yeah.
I'll be in the middle of doing something. I could be cleaning up, and just a melody or something pops in my head, and it's like or I'll be going through something, and I'm really like, dang, I really just want to go express myself, so I want to record, and not having that is kind of like, dang, the worst. The only thing you can do at that point is just write down what you thinking or write the lyrics
Yeah.
down that you think that you create in your head, but I like to like do stuff on the fly, so
Yes.
I'm gonna just get my own setup.
Absolutely. That's exactly where it'll come in handy because as an artist, you're a creator, and like at any given time, like you said, you could be taking a shower, washing dishes, even in sleep, you wake up and you got this in your head and you might have a certain melody or something and you want to be able to get it off at that moment so you don't lose exactly what you're hearing in your head. Cause like you said, you can write it
Exactly,
down, but sometimes if you got to wait 2 or 3 days, that same vibe and same energy is not going to be there.
exactly. You just explained it perfectly.
Definitely, absolutely. I know that you're looking at launching a clothing brand. That's a business venture that you're wanting to tap into outside of music. Tell us about it.
So I'm very heavy into fashion. Um, that's like one of the main things that like people who know me from just being somebody that's always like put together or like
Yeah, you look
to
fly
wear.
right now.
Yeah, appreciate it. Like to wear nice clothing. So I'm just like, well, I'm already known for that. Outside of the music, that's what a lot of people know me for. So I'm just like, well, I think it would be best for me from a business aspect to just create my own brand because I see a lot of other brands on Instagram and things. I'm like, I could create something if not it's just as good or if not better from my own
Absolutely.
thought without copying anybody or nothing just because I'm already into fashion. So I was thinking about it, and I'm putting it into work right now. I'm getting my logos created and different things like that to get it up and running, and then now I just gotta find somebody get, to get the actual materials from. I want to find good materials. I don't want nothing that they put in the washing machine and then it's gone or it's shrink. I'm trying to find like the perfect match for what I'm trying to do, basically.
No, that's facts. It's so funny you said that because there'll be times, that artists will bring me a shirt and bless their heart, but you can tell that I always refer to it as that gas station family reunion type t-shirt. It's
Right.
stiff and it's scratchy.
Yeah, yeah, no, I don't want that. I want good materials only because I'm a quality person. Like, I like different type of stuff. Everything I want is quality. I wear certain clothes because of quality, not even just because of the name or oh this Balenciaga or this hat is Bape. I just like quality items. I don't want nothing that doesn't feel good.
Absolutely. I think as a fashion, designer or anything, whatever I guess you want to call a fashion designer, you want to put yourself in the consumer shoes. You want to
Exactly.
think about, would I buy that? Would I wear that? And if your answer is yes, then you know that you're on the right track of putting something out because you got to put yourself on the consumer side to make sure, hey, when I start putting this merch out here, people are going to shop with me. Can we tell them the name of the brands?
Yeah, it's gonna be called Crooked Apparel.
I love that. That is so dope. I like the name because it's catchy. What made you decide to come up with that name, if you don't mind sharing?
So when I was young, I had made my first Snapchat, and I was, a lot of times people don't never put their real name and stuff, so I put corrupted on there, and like that just always been what it was, and I was gonna use corrupted actually because I'm like, that's actually a dope name for a
Yeah.
clothing brand. But I've seen so many clothing brands with that name already, so I'm like, let me just think of something that is close to that. It can mean that, but has a different name. And then I seen Crooked, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's the perfect one right there.
I love that. I love that you were able to find something similar to your original idea, kind of a spin off of it, and the fact that you did your homework to see that there's already other brands out there with the original name. Because you don't want to come out with it and start getting logos and this and that, and then come to find out somebody else has already got a trademark. Do you know what I'm saying? Then you
Right,
got to go.
like even though that the ones I seen weren't really big, it just like I'm not a copy type of person. I'm more of a everything I do, I want it to be original. No matter if that's a song or if that's a flow, if that's how I dress or how I think, I want everything to just be me. So I was like, well, let me just recreate this and do it with a different name and just do it like that.
Absolutely. What are some of the things that you have on your radar that you're going to put out, like hats, shirts, socks? Like, what are
Definitely,
you going to have?
definitely hats, definitely hats and like jogging suits or like the sweatsuits or whatever, because those are very, very popular right now. Like as far as like
Yes.
the baggy sweatsuits and stuff like that. I think I'm gonna make a couple of those. I don't really wear those, but I think I'm gonna make a couple of them just for consumers. But
Yes.
hats, definitely t-shirts, definitely sweaters. I love sweaters
Yeah.
myself, so I'm definitely gonna create some sweaters. Um, and I'm thinking about doing socks too. I just don't
Throw
know.
those in the mix because everybody wears socks from
Right,
like baby to elderly. Everybody wears socks. So I think that would be dope to throw that in the mix as well. That would be a
okay,
good seller. You know, people would buy those. They're like, oh, well, I bought the joggers. I got to get the socks to go with it. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
yeah. Especially if it's designed a certain way, like if it got
Right.
a nice design on it, that makes a big difference. So yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. You could do beanie hats, bucket hats. There's like the sky's the limit. There's so much that you can do because everybody likes something a little different. Some people might prefer buckets over beanies. Okay.
Right,
And you could test it out too. You know, if you put it up on the site and it's not really doing so well, okay, boom, we're not going to manufacture this one no more. We're going to move on to this one. So it's going to be a trial and error situation.
right.
Different colors and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. I like colors. I'm not really like a oh, I only like all black or all white type person. I just like fashion. So if I see something, I instantly think like, oh, I could put these shoes with this shirt and these pants. Like, so I'm definitely gonna have colors because that makes a big difference too as well.
Yes.
Because now there's a lot of different colorways for shoes coming out, different brands starting up, and different different shirts and different pants and stuff that's coming out now. So you have to be creative with the colors that you use. And then just having only black or white, black, and red, those colorways kind of get old. People want new colorways.
Yes, absolutely. Because things are seasonal. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right,
springtime, people like the purples and the blues and the pinks and yellow. Coming into fall, you know, there's just, it's stuff is seasonal. I'm the type of person, I truly feel like I could wear anything anywhere year round. Like that's just how I
yeah,
feel.
that's how I am.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I got a gray shirt on today and it's summertime, but it's like, you know, that's what we do. But there are people out there who truly follow the seasonal stuff. So having them color options is definitely important.
Definitely.
What else you got coming up? Do you have anything in the works, like any other upcoming projects or shows or anything that people need to be in tune with?
Yeah, so I got a couple features from some bigger artists on the way. In the vault already right now or in the works. Um, I've been talking to a lot of different artists right now that's up and coming from Chicago area. So it's like I got a lot of that going on. Just out branching and working with different artists. Um, I definitely am thinking about right now, talking to my management team about actually putting out another project.
Yeah.
And I just shot like 3 videos back to back. And one of them is doing really, really good on Instagram right now on the reels. It's almost at like 20K. It's only been up for like a week.
That's dope.
So I'm like, yeah, I think that's one of the ones I definitely need to push. But when I made the song, I knew it was gonna be something that people was gonna like because of the type of music that's been blowing up lately.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I think it would be best for me to push that. But yeah, just basically, I'm gonna be putting together another project. I got some big features on the way. I'm not gonna say the names because I just want to surprise people this time. But yeah, we definitely got a lot in the works right now.
Do you have a lot of recorded music that's sitting in the vault that hasn't been released yet?
Yes, I'm one of those artists where if you leave me in the studio all day, I will record all day until I fall asleep in the studio, and then I will wake up and record again. So I have so many songs, like older songs that nobody has really ever heard. And then I have a lot of newer music to where I just go to the studio and um, it doesn't really take me long to create songs because they're usually from up here. So I just go. I might make 3, 4 songs in one studio session, and I might only shoot a vid to one. The other three might just be in the vault. So I have definitely have a lot of songs that have never been released yet.
Dope. Let me ask you this, being that an artist has to do so many different things, on their way up, to the top per se, what of those steps do you enjoy the most? Is it the creative process or is it doing stuff like this? What is it that you enjoy the most?
Yeah, it's really everything. Just everything. Just going through the ups and downs of it. Going from where there's only a couple people listening to your music to thousands of people listening to your music. Going from not really getting the exposure like that to now they're meeting bigger artists and they're like, well, we like your music. We think you dope. It's everything. Being creative, going to the studio, period, because it's just a therapeutic. Um,
Yes.
and stuff like this too because it gives people a chance to learn you, like to know
Yeah.
you, understand how you think. When I see a new artist, I don't just instantly like, oh, I like him. I gotta see how he think first. I gotta see how he moving outside of just the music.
Absolutely. That's a super valid point. And I think you're absolutely right. That's why this type of stuff is important because people want to know you as a human being outside of the
Right.
dope music artist. They want to know what's the human element part of this guy right here. And doing stuff like this, some people may not know you as a father. They learn that you're very, family oriented and stuff like that is important. So that is really dope. Being that music is your passion, hands down, right? What do you feel like is your purpose for doing music?
My purpose for doing music, like the reason why I do it,
Yeah.
just I think really just because it's just a way to express myself,
Yeah.
a way to be heard. I'm not really like a person to where like if you see me, I'm cool, I'm nice, but I'm really more of a like a to myself type person. I be chilling really most of the time. I be to myself, or a lot of the times I'm not really super talkative. I'm more of a like I like to listen and
Yeah.
see what's going on. So it's really that like it just helps me express myself more, get things that's off my mind onto a song or and then it's just therapeutic. I love music period. So listening to something that I created and it's dope and then other people are like, bro, this is good. Like this needs to be on the radio or something. It's just like it just shows me that anything I really put my mind to, I can do it if I want to.
Man, that is the biggest facts ever. I'm big on manifestation. Like we can manifest it. We got to put the work in behind it, but it's like if we can visualize it, it can absolutely happen. I'm a true believer. We can do anything we put our mind to. And I could tell that you're
Definitely.
kind of mild mannered too, and I like that. I'll be honest with you. Like I've been doing this for 13 years and I've encountered some artists that are just so obnoxious out the gate. And I'm just like, we don't want to be around people like that. You got to be hyped sometimes when you get on that stage and stuff, but it's like
Right.
some people are just like that 24/7. I'm like a whole huge ball of energy. I love
Yeah.
your mannerisms of how you present yourself. And I feel like, the majority of the people out there are going to agree with me. We would rather deal with someone like you than someone who's like off the wall doing some weirdo stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I
Okay
just
to
be
them,
chilling. I be
but
to myself. So I don't, I try to stay humble through everything, no matter if I'm having the best opportunities in my life going on or the worst. Like most of the time, you would never know because I'm the same person through it all.
Absolutely. Do you find that this is something I kind of stand by? Do you find that no matter what you go through, you always look to pull the positive out of it?
Yeah, definitely, because I always feel like with everything you go through, it's a lesson. So I try to look at it like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the times when people hear the word lesson, they think it's something that's just teaching them that something else is wrong. But I look at it like, well, this is just teaching me something that I could either work on as a human being, as a person. I'm only 24, so I have a
Yeah.
lot to learn. You know, a lot of times we feel like when something goes wrong or this, we always feel like we're right. But you know, if you really self-reflect and think like how was I wrong in this situation to be a better person, I do that a lot. So I feel like that's what keeps me. No matter what I go through, I'm gonna always laugh, smile. I'm a goofy person anyway, so I don't
Yeah.
really take nothing serious. But I'm always laugh, smile. Just try to think of everything in the most positive way that I can. So that way, it's like I'm not putting myself in no sad state or depression or nothing like that. I'm just I just know I'm gonna always figure it out, no matter if I gotta figure it out by myself or with somebody. I just know because I'm used to doing it, so I don't really get too pressed about anything. I just
Yeah.
lay
That's a
back.
gift right there, though, because there's a lot of people who can't do that. There's people out here who don't take accountability for their own actions. They don't figure it out. They want to blame everybody else instead of taking that accountability. What
Yeah,
you just said about yourself speaks a lot about yourself as a man. It speaks about your character. And like I said, it's a true gift because I'm an overthinker and I'm like learning ways
me
to
too.
combat that because like sometimes I'll think about 100 different scenarios about a situation that may never even come to fruition and now I'm over here stressed out. I'm like, okay, I got to stop doing that. You know, it's a crazy world out there, but that's a true gift that you have for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely sometimes I'm an overthinker too, but I try to look at things more like if that was what it was supposed to be, then that's what it would be. So whatever we overthinking about, and instead of stressing like, oh, maybe this is going on or this is going on or this is going on, it's like eventually, no matter how you want to look at it, you gonna see the outcome of whatever it is. So there is not even a point in you constantly stressing about it. You just gotta let it
Man,
be what it's gonna be.
that's great advice. You are absolutely right. I always tell myself this too shall pass. Whatever it is, we get through it. Nothing like that is
Definitely.
going to last forever. You know what I'm saying? We go through trials, tribulations, maybe some confrontation with other people, but if it's meant to happen, it's meant to happen. Like oftentimes we stress about stuff that's not even within our control. So definitely.
Definitely. That too.
Absolutely. So let's check out this record that you sent over. Before we get into that, though, anybody that wants to keep up with your movement and your management's movement, where can they follow you guys at?
So you can follow my manager at Ben Frank Management Official on Instagram. My Instagram is up one underscore Draco, so it's UP1 underscore DREKKO. I'm everywhere on all platforms at the name right there, UPONE DREKKO on all platforms, whether that's Apple Music, Spotify, anything like that. And I'm definitely on Instagram heavy the most, so if you
Yeah.
follow me on there, you definitely will see me active on that one.
Absolutely. I'm the most active on there too. I haven't quite gotten the whole buzz thing with TikTok. You know, I'm just
Yeah,
like,
me either.
I'm like, I don't know. To me, it seems like it would be extremely time consuming if you become a TikTok influencer. Like you're constantly having to post content, and I'm not
Definitely.
quite there yet.
Yeah, me
Well,
either.
definitely shout out to you for being a whole vibe, man. I really enjoyed the conversation. Shout out to your management, extremely professional, on point. So I just wanted to make sure I
Yeah,
give him his flowers as well because that type of stuff is important. You as an artist, you need good representation, and I just want to let you know he's doing a phenomenal job. So definitely salute to your team.
yeah. Salute to Ben. Sure.
Absolutely. Do you have anybody that you want to maybe give some thanks to that's been supporting you or give a shout out to?
Shout out to Ben for sure. Shout out my management. Shout out to SL Design. Um, Shout out to really anybody that's been supporting me through whatever I go through or just supporting my music period, keeping me going, sending me little messages like keep going, bro, you too hard or anything like that. You don't understand how much that just keep me motivated to keep going in life and just in the music.
Absolutely. We need to hear that from people from time to time. Like people can be proud of us or people can love what we do, but oftentimes they don't verbally tell us. And it's like, I know they say what's understood doesn't need to be explained, but every now and again, it feels good for someone to stroke our ego and tell us that. It keeps us
Exactly.
motivated for sure. So it sounds like you got a phenomenal, crew of people around you, whether they're family, friends, team members. Shout out to the homie Jay Anthony, just checked in over there on YouTube. He always
Shout
tunes
out
in
to
and
him.
supports. Yeah, he's always here to support the interviews. I got one last question before we check out the record. We're going to drop it. We live.
Industry's most wanted.
Big Industry's most wanted, not the little one. We got Upone Drekko checking in. Go ahead and tell the whole world what makes you the industry's most wanted.
Just because when you listen to my music, you gonna hear pain, you gonna hear truth. I'm gonna tell you the truth and all my music, nothing that I'm putting in my music is just something that I'm not going through or something that I'm not doing. So when you hear my music, you gonna understand why I'm industry's most wanted. And that's why.
I love that. I love that. And then, like I said too, I mentioned it earlier on. I'll throw it out there again. If you're, ever out here again, I know not if, when you're back out here into the Atlanta area, definitely hit us up. It'd be dope to even have you stop by the studio, even if it's just for a couple of moments, so we could shake hands and meet each other in person. That'll be a vibe.
Okay, for sure.
Absolutely. So, what's the name of the record that you sent us?
Bad bitches.
Bad bitches. You could say that with your chest. Tell us a little bit, because every woman wants to be a bad bitch. I'm just saying, whether they admit to it or not. Tell us about the record.
It was like I said, I was in a studio in Chicago. I had just went to the studio or recorded on XODB. We was together. I recorded on his mobile setup like a day or two before, and then I end up booking a song and booking a studio session in Chicago because I usually go out there to record. 'Cause like I said, Indiana is right next to Chicago, and where in Michigan City where I stayed at the time is like a 50-minute drive to Chicago. So I booked this nice studio in Chicago. It's like touch screen and all that. I wanted to go. We booked that. I had like a 4 or 5 hour session or something like that, and I had just made like a. It was more like a love song, like an R&B type song. I made that this day before, and he ended up playing the beat. He was playing beats, and I wanted to do another song like that. He was like, "Nah, bro, I think you should make some like some hard shit." I'm like, "Okay, cool." He played that beat. I was like, "Okay, load that up. Come on, let's
That's
go." And
fun.
I just pushed it together off the top of my head. Like I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to the flow. I'm like, "Okay, this beat hard."
Yeah.
So I end up just getting on it. And another reason why I ended up getting on it is a producer named Jada on the beat. He's like a real known producer in Chicago. He done worked with Juice World, Rest in Peace Juice World, Herb, so, um, a lot of different like big name artists. So he was like, "Man, you never got did a song on Jada on the beat on Jada beats." And Jada was there at the time too. So I'm like, "Okay, cool, come on, let's do it." And I just ended up putting the song together, and he liked it. X liked it. I loved it. So I'm like, "Okay, yeah, this cool, this one."
That is dope, man. So you working with the right producers who are making the right production for you, really is that oftentimes probably what triggers you to come up with the record, like on the spot, just like that.
Right.
That is
Yeah.
dope. Have you ever heard of a producer or worked with a producer? He's from Chicago, but he's out here in Atlanta now. He goes by Fireman. Are you familiar with him at all?
No, I never heard of his production.
He's been out here in Atlanta for a little minute now, but I know he was like one of the originators going back to when drill music, started. He was like, because I actually got the opportunity to sit down with him, and he explained the whole thing. Because I'm like, let's clear the air. Drill music started in Chicago, right? And he
Right.
had to clear the air because some people, from up top want to claim it. I was like, so yeah, he's definitely a dope producer. Maybe check him out sometime. Fireman, shout out to you,
Definitely.
bro. So we're about to get into this record and close out with this. Is there anything else that you want to make sure that people know about or on tune with before we get into the record?
Just like I said before, if you wanna contact me or anything like that, you could talk to my management, Ben Frank Official Management. You will find them on Instagram. And if you want to follow me or follow my movement or anything I got going on, my Instagram is UP1_DREKK. KKO. That's it.
Definitely. And in fact, your management's going to be out here with me at the end of the month. He's bringing an artist to the studio. So, I wish you could come, but we'll catch you at some point in time.
For sure.
Definitely. Well, listen, bro, it was a pleasure to have you on here. It was nice to virtually meet you. We'll definitely do it sometime in person. I support what you got going on. Also, like I mentioned earlier, and I'll say it live on air so the people hear it, send me a clean version to one of your records because I am on FM radio 5 nights a week here in Atlanta. So, I can get you some exposure on the Atlanta airwaves out here for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that for sure.
Absolutely, man. Let's check out the record. Can you give us the introduction for it?
Yes, sir. It's Upone Drekko. We got bad bitches. Shit finna hit. One of y'all know.
Let's go. Y'all stay tuned for it. It is the industry's most wanted podcast.
It's on a beat, make it boom. I'm a real life glitter, getting money type of nigga. Big came Balenciaga and off right now. I'm switching up my denim. Bad bitch, throwing ass. Some y'all whites with racks in them. Nigga, I ain't into talking too much. I just keep it confidential. Ben was getting fresh before COVID. I ain't doing this for no. I been had told that bitch I ain't spending no money. She still gon' let me. Remember them nights in the stew, work till like 4 something with a bitch in the back end busy. Offer the weed and some henna. I call her the Reaper. She sucking the soul till it's empty. Go get some digits. My cup fill it. Can't wait to go foreign. Losing the ceiling. Play with my top. You losing your ceiling. Hop out in the mirror. The lose can't with it. This be the way that I'm living. Sending money to cuz when he was locked up in prison. Learn how to stack me a dub. Couple thousand and one. Make him count and I throw it to strippers. I'm in the right type of mode. Do it again, then switch out the low. I'm a dog with this shit. I'ma switch out the flow. Came from nothing. Now I got this shit off the flow. Bad hoe. Keep grabbing ones off the flow. Eyes on me soon as I walk in the door. I'm a real life glitter, getting money type of nigga. Big came Balenciaga and off right now. I'm switching up my denim. Bad bitch, throwing ass. Some y'all whites with racks in them. Nigga, I ain't into talking too much. I just keep it confidential. Ben was getting fresh before COVID. I ain't doing this for no. I been had told that bitch I ain't spending no money. She still gon' let me. Remember them nights in the stew, work till like 4 something with a bitch in the back end busy. Offer the weed and some henna. I call her the Reaper. She sucking the soul till it's empty.
That's one of the ones.
Yes, sir. That's a fire record right there, bro. Thank you again. I know I kept you a lot longer than I told you I was going to keep you, but the conversation was good, so it was hard to stop. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
When there's good conversation, you know what I'm saying, we definitely keep it moving. Once again, y'all make sure you guys tune in and tap in with the movement of Upone Drekko. His whole team is here supporting the movement. I appreciate everybody that tuned in any of the platforms. So once again, it's your girl TampaMystic, man. We about to get up out of here.